Welcome to Toxic Table Time
Episode
3.
Twat.
We are going to be talking all things sit down, as the sit down nationals happened on Saturday, the 14th of May.
The Saturday just gone.
Yeah, and it was a good turnout, wasn't it? I got my little figures here. It was about 30-40 pullers, weren't there?
Some top names came.
Which isn't bad for sit-downs, because obviously sit-down arm wrestling isn't for everyone, and we understand that not everyone wants to do sit-down arm wrestling. It's a completely different technique, completely different angle, a lot of side pressure, a lot of elbow pressure in there.
Plus, some people just won't fit under the table.
Yeah, you got to be...
Imagine someone like Hightower, 6'9", trying to get his legs under a table.
Yeah, how would that work? He just wouldn't, would he?
You'd be sitting on his lap, basically. He'd have his legs up over your shoulders.
And so like a mantis. But, you know, like... maybe local clubs should have come. You know, it's only down the road and it's still an arm wrestling tournament.
It's still a title, other than the stand-up nationals. This is the only other title you can win.
Yeah, so there's now PAA Novice National, PAA Pro National, and then there's the BSAA Sit Down Novice and Pro titles that you can win in England.
We had some top pros turn up. We had Dean Bolt, last year's left arm champion, super heavyweight. We had Greg Foster, the Hammer, winning his first pro title. We had Josh Davis. We had the Quiet Man, James Price.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to come actually.
Harry Lill.
Harry Lill turned. Harry Lill needs to thank us because he was running late, and I actually ran the supers first just so he could get there. So thank me, yeah.
We had
Andy Thorne,
the
biggest superstar there, Sussex superstar.
Cactus
Andy
Jack.
Thorne, Cactus Jack, with his cactus-like grip. Dan Constantine, he was a good name. Obviously, like you, everyone knows me, you, Stuart Acton, you know.
Yeah, Dave Kelly, Chris Fellows, they're arm wrestling veterans. They were there.
We had that Conray.
Yeah.
He making his comeback to arm wrestling after like a 10-year absence. Or
Mark Walden,
Mr.
Consistent. He seems to be at every competition, always doing well.
Yeah, he always comes away with a trophy or a medal, doesn't he?
Captain Anavar.
Is he or is he not on the gear?
Oh.
He is about 80 years old, built like a fucking shithouse. Right, Russell McSharry, the best loser you'll ever see. He's on a good run at the moment.
12 losses in a row across 2 tournaments in 2 months. I mean, I'm not sure if anyone's ever done that.
But he keeps coming back.
Yeah, keeps coming back.
I find with Russell, maybe he always seems like he looks more up for it if it's a super match, maybe. You know what I mean? He seems a bit out, like almost like when he's at a tournament, he's got that look on his face like he doesn't really know what to do. Or at a super match, he has a bit more time to think.
Yeah.
Do you think? Some people are like that though. Some people are better at tournaments than they are super matches, aren't they?
We had Carl Crosby from Devon.
Yeah, he was last year's novice left arm 105 champion.
Pros.
We had some newcomer. We had a Lee Davis he chose the sit downs as his first tournament poll. So he turned up, put it on the line.
The Angry Goat, Darren Stark.
Darren took gold under 90 kilo novice. He was probably too good for that class right arm, don't you think? Maybe should have tried pros, but he'd definitely be pro next year, won't he? Anyone that won a title novice category this year will have to be pro next year if they decide to enter the competition.
Mark McGinley from Slough.
He won both arms.
He won both arms. He's doing well.
He done well on the right because he lost to Lee Hellier in the opening round.
And he
so
came back to get 2 pins in the final.
Come back from the B side to then.
But he's been doing well at the last couple of tournaments I've seen him at, and a couple of super matches. So not sure how much longer he's going to be a novice for, because he's consistently at the top end of these novice events. So.
I've actually got a super match with him, left arm in August.
Really?
Circle of Arms.
Oh, yeah.
So that'd be a good little test.
Let's train hard, boy.
My left arm is inconsistent. It's like sometimes it's good. If I give it attention.
Ask Carl Crosby how inconsistent your left arm is.
But do you know what I mean? Like if I give my left arm attention, then it does get quite good. But when I'm concentrating on my right arm and my left arm I don't actually sort of care about, it tends to not do that well. Whereas when I was injured, I don't know if you know, but I hurt my finger. It's like this now. When I was injured, I couldn't use my right arm. I gave my full 100% attention to my left arm, didn't I? And it started to get, well, it was stronger probably a month ago than it is now. But I've got a few matches. I've got David Prokupek at SummerSlam on the left as well.
I've got him right.
I might have to start.
Carl Crosby left. Oh, best training fucking hard, boy, or you're being cold.
Got to work for your dinner, lad.
There were some right old wars though at sit down, because at sit down there seems to be a lot more wars than standing up, because you're more statically planted.
Don't you think with sit down, people are a lot slower?
Yeah, it's hard to go fast.
Do you think that's because
you can't
people tried it out first time, don't know what they're doing?
Yeah, but you can't swing your body weight under, and you can't sit under the table.
Yeah, that's true.
So we had Dean Bolt having all-out wars with Stuart, and me on the left arm.
Oh, mate, Stuart was in some battles, and then he was only
right old battle.
Because your class was quite small. He was only getting like a minute's rest between these little battles.
But Carl Crosby, Chris Fellows had an absolute barn burner. Both going, Rah!
Match of the day.
Fucking
that was.
like they were turning into
How long did it go on for? A minute? Minute and a half?
Until they absolutely exhausted themselves. Well, that just goes to show how much a win means to some people.
Yeah.
Some people are willing to hang on till the death.
Well, I think
to get that win.
Carl's latest run, he
Mentality
hasn't been
you need.
getting, like, his left arm's meant to be his best arm in it, and then he's not been getting the pins that he thinks he should be getting. So I think he was determined to get this pin over Chris.
Josh Davis had a few wars with
some wars,
David Price. Not David Price.
That's
a boxer.
Fucking
What's his name?
James Price.
James Price. Yeah,
the quiet man. He just He sat in the corner of the room all day like this, just under a fan, dead quiet, not saying a word to anyone.
Quiet man.
The quiet man. Dan Earthquake.
PAA president. Cheers for coming down, being down ref and helping and supporting the event.
He entered as well.
Kath was the main ref. It's her first time refereeing a sit down.
I know refs get shit, but she actually done a great job, I think.
Because it's hard to watch elbows and arses and.
She had her first arse foul. I think it was Dan against Greg. And Dan come up and she actually called an arse foul, and it's her first ever arse foul she's called. And but she done a good job, I think. There was no injuries. She didn't have to stop a match once for a break arm position.
Even in the novices.
And that's 2 years running now. We've had none of that. So, and sit down arm wrestling is originally the original
form of arm wrestling.
The original form of arm wrestling.
It's actually quite big in America. Sit down arm wrestling.
You should be, if you're good at stand up arm wrestling, then really you should be trying the sit down arm wrestling to see if you really are that good.
Even training sit down arm wrestling makes your arm so strong.
Yeah, we do it once a week.
We're at an advantage at Sussex because we have a sit down table, so we're able to practice. So it is an advantage to us. But
we've started training it once a week on sit down, just because it's just pure arm without having the leverage of your body, and we think personally that it will benefit your stand up game. And if you look at Michael Todd's videos, and I think it's Bob Brown, I can't remember his name, they've got sit down tables in their gym, and they're training on their sit down tables as well, aren't they?
Is Richard Lupke's the strongest ever sit down arm wrestler?
If you watch him doing sit down, he was so fast.
He
I
said
sort of
he
got
loved
inspiration from him.
He actually said that he loves sit down arm wrestling. He actually prefers it.
Yeah.
So hopefully each year it will get more and more popular, and we'll make it bigger and bigger, because it is still a title.
People keep
to win.
asking me about classes, because obviously I created the BSAA and I run it and I run the competition. And I've started with these 3 classes, so it's under 90, under 105 and 105 plus. But if more people come and they want me to do, say, under 80, under 75, then I'll do it. But you've got to turn up. If you don't turn up, if I do these weight classes and you don't turn up, then I'll just take them out. And the only thing I wanted to do this year, but didn't, was an overall class.
Yeah, Greg said he was interested.
So like all the winners from every weight class, that's novice as well, would all then go into one class to just see who the top dog
That would be
was.
well good. We should do that next year. There'll be a winner of each category and then an overall.
Yeah, so next year we're going to do an overall, and that's not overall pro, overall novice. That'll be overall. So everyone that's won,
King of the day.
yeah, everyone that's won their class at the end will go into the overalls, and we'll see who really is king of sit down arm wrestling. But yeah, other than that, it was a good day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed
I
it.
won left and right. That's my first tournament win since 2018.
Same. That's how shit I am. Fuck yeah.
Obviously, I've won super matches and stuff and placed at tournaments, but that's my first tournament win, especially on both arms.
How did
since
it feel
2018.
pinning a proper pro like Dean Bolt?
But yeah, it's great to actually get to arm wrestle Dean Bolt. He's one of my heroes. I watched him as a kid in Britain's Strongest Man, around my nan's
Do you find
house.
that weird?
And now here I am winning the British title from him.
Do you find that weird though?
Funny how the universe
How
works.
old is Dean Bolt?
Don't know, about 70.
Is he 70? Yeah, that is odd though, isn't it?
But of shows, because after that Welsh comp in February, I messaged Greg Foster, who actually won his class, which I predicted he would win both arms, for a training routine. And since I've been doing Greg's training routine, I've improved drastically. You know, Devon coming fourth in the pros and pinning Adam Catcher. Now the comp after that, winning the sit downs both arms. So just want to thank Greg for giving me your routine. But obviously, giving someone a routine is nothing if the person doesn't use it and train it. So I've been training my arse off, and the results are starting to show.
And you've been training your wrist a lot more though. I remember you never used to train your wrist. It used to go, training wrist is boring, just get strong. And then suddenly, everyone at training and in comps is fucking peeling your wrist back like a banana, aren't they? And then you started to get a bit disheartened, maybe, didn't they? Do you think that's fair?
Yeah. So now that doesn't happen so
And
much.
what did I do? I said train your riser and your cup, innit? And your wrist will get so strong, and then no one will start having an easy time with you, will they? I just tell everyone, hand and wrist all the time.
So now I'll be looking to see who else is on my hit list.
I won my class as well.
Remember your class, right on.
To be fair, you know, with tournaments, it is luck of the draw. You always have to add that factor in as well.
You need a bit of luck. You need a good draw. You
with
need to
the
feel
bracket,
good.
Yeah, you need to
Everything
feel good.
kind of needs to go in your favour to win a tournament, almost.
With the bracket, I had a bye in the first round, and then I had Chris Fellows, old trading partner. He's now with Epic Arm Wrestling. And then I had, to be fair, I saw James Price. He was smashing everyone.
He was a really strong wrist. He was just going dunk.
And I saw him beat Josh Davis, and I thought, oh fucking hell, maybe I'll be taking third or second at this time. Do you know what I mean? And then when I gripped up with him, I just held really loose, and I thought, speed is key here. So I just fight. I think my little sideways swipe works quite well for sit down. Whether it'll work all right for stand up, I don't know. I'll have to try it out at the next competition and see how we go.
We had Sussex, Reese, the Beast, Aldridge
The
winning
hyena.
his first tournament.
He's not the beast. He's the hyena.
The hyena. Winning
Yeah,
left
love
and
that.
right arm novice, super heavies.
That's his first title. It's only the second novice title for Sussex, isn't it?
And Alan Power coming third in both arms, novice.
He's done well.
Mark McGinley winning novice both arms, left and right, under 105 novice. And Darren Stark winning right arm under 90. And Ben McGibbon, he did really well actually.
Yeah, I like him. He keeps turning
On
up
the
at all
left
these
arm.
comps, doesn't he?
He had a really good. I think he
does
said it's the
well.
first time he's ever done sit down, and he looked actually
No,
really.
he was there last year.
Oh, was he?
He took third or second
He
last
looked
year.
really comfortable doing it as
Yeah.
well. Looked like he actually was made for it.
Yeah, he looked good.
So he had some good wins.
Yeah, next year I want to
Novice
get.
champs.
We need to get a few good more names, I reckon. But this year every class was stacked, wasn't it? I mean stacked, but there was like. I mean, last year we had to have a couple of super matches because there was only 2 people in the class, and left arm under 105 we had like a 70-kilo guy jumping in just to make the class, whereas this year we didn't need to do that at all.
Yeah.
We had every class was full. We had
But some people had like a minute and then they'd be on again, whereas if there was more people they could have had a bit more rest.
that's the
time.
thing with that's the same with stand up as
Yeah,
well. If you have a
stand-up is a
barn
stand.
burner, like look at the nationals where Adrian Dwyer and Tom Holland absolutely killed each other, didn't they? And then they're done, and someone else can pin them when that wouldn't actually pin them if they were fresh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who else? That Viking fucking guy, Chris Thomas.
Yeah, Chris Thomas. That's his second tournament.
He took third.
He did third.
He's been training with us on off. He trains with Rob Frampton at Rob Frampton's.
Solid guy,
Place.
really strong.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of body weight, and he's strong as fuck. So he's done his second tournament, placing third at the novice in the 105s.
I can't believe Lee Hellyer. What a fucking idiot. He was quite comfortable on the right hand, and then I don't know why, but he ended up losing to Mark in the final. Mark needed 2 pins to pin him,
Yeah, and he got him.
and he ended up losing.
Just the way it goes, isn't it?
That's tournaments for you, isn't it? Harry Lill done really well.
Yeah, Harry Lill.
His left arm, I'd say he won it quite comfortably, don't
A
you?
few wars with Josh Davis, the tank.
That was on the right arm though, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
Left arm, he looked quite comfortable, I'd say. Maybe I don't know if his left arm's his best arm. But he did tell me he had slight little injuries, and he was 50-50 whether he was going to come, wasn't he?
So yeah, in terms of a national event, it was good.
We got
Going, good flow.
we
Good names,
we
good
we
wars.
bullied the Moroccan Sunset,
Yeah.
James Meister,
That cunt was gonna
who actually
pull
come
out.
up to me when he signed in. And he went, "Do you know, my name is actually James Murdoch." And I was like, "What?"
You were like, should have kept that to yourself, you dumb cunt.
And he went, "You called me James Meister, so I just went with it." And I was like, "So your name's actually James Murdoch?" So I pronounced him as Murdoch for the rest of the day.
I'm going to call him Murdick.
Murdick. We bullied him into coming. He's one of them that's like, "Oh, I'm injured and I'm injured." Then
Started
he
telling me his life story like I was writing his fucking autobiography. I only asked him if he was coming. And then
he takes second both
Yeah,
arms. So he couldn't have been
second
that
both
fucking
arms.
injured, could you? Twat.
he had some good old wars, some good old screamers. That's what we like.
Charlie done all right. Do you know Charlie's our youngest member at Sussex? I think, how old is he? 20 something.
22.
He looks like Ivan Drago. He used to look like Lemony Snicket.
Snicket.
Unfortunate events, but we kept calling it that, so he cut all his fucking hair off so that he looked like Drago. And he's doing well. He took third both arms. You can see when he gets pinned, you can see the disappointment in his face, and that means
That's what I love at training when
I
I,
like
pin
that.
him. I like just like looking at the disappointment in his face. Motivates me more.
But I'm saying that's a good thing
Yeah,
because it means
something to
it
him.
means he cares,
Yeah.
and that means that I know that he will then go away and he turns up training
Get
3
stronger
times a
and
week.
stronger.
Even when he's fucked, he's there. So he's got a bright future. Dan Stone, he's like 60 kilos.
He had a few battles.
And he's entering the under-90s, and he still took fourth on the right arm or left arm. He had to beat his dad in the tournament. He got called against his own dad, didn't he?
Big
Imagine,
Frank.
Imagine that. Would you let your dad win, or would you
No
just
way. I'd
smash?
smash the fucking shit out of him. Anyone puts their arm on that pad, there's no mercy.
I remember I got called against you at Teo. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I beat you, didn't I? Right arm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Probably wouldn't happen now.
Yeah, it would. Easy. We'll do it right now. Yeah, but overall, it was a good day, wasn't it? I think the next comp... Thing is with me, I have a big come down after a competition. Like yesterday, I was just sitting there, I'm like, I need a date in my head. I need something to...
Well, next up is Grip Fest. It's not matches or anything, but it's...
No, yeah, that'd be good.
It'll be a good day. It's in Wales on the 4th of June, Grip Fest, where you can meet a lot of pro arm wrestlers and
make
have
sure
a
you're
little practice with
following
them.
Daffyd on Instagram and his YouTube, because
Follow Daffyd.
he's putting a lot of content out there that maybe people aren't seeing.
There was a good Welsh showing at the sit downs. You had Daffyd, Dean, Greg, Josh. Don't know. Oh, sorry if I missed anyone out. But
Yeah, the squad there though, because they had Josh in 105s, they had Greg in the under 90s, and Dean in the
had a good
105
Welsh
club.
showing.
Yeah.
Perhaps a topic for another show is who is Wales' best arm wrestler?
I think Greg.
Is
Beats
David
Josh.
Bradford still classed as Welsh?
No, he's Scottish. He's Scottish now, isn't he?
Well, that's a topic for another day.
I think Greg would beat Josh Davis. Do you?
Topic for another day.
Do you?
Maybe. I go with Greg in any match he's in.
What about Dean Bolt? Would he beat him both?
Don't know. It's hard, isn't it? They're training partners, aren't they?
Depends if Dean's up for it or not.
We'll talk episode 4. Who is Wales?
Maybe we'll get one if you want it, and
we'll
we'll
get a couple of you on the show. Hopefully.
and you can tell us who you think is the best Welsh arm wrestler.
Or who is Wales' greatest arm wrestler ever? Who is the most accomplished arm wrestler Wales has ever had?
Yeah, who is that? Don't know. The next comp.
Stir the pot. Stir the pot.
Next comp's probably
So yeah, get to Grip Fest.
yeah, Gripfest, and follow Daffyd on Instagram and YouTube. Sorry, I can't remember the name, but you just type him in or look him up on the Instagram, or look for me and look at my follow.
Puts lots of content
he's on there. And he's putting all them YouTube videos out.
I think the next tournament is for the PAA is Derby, Demolition
So
Derby.
the 18th of June, I think. I'll
And
probably go
then
to that.
There is SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's only round the corner. There's 45 super matches.
And then there is the Worlds in France in September. We had a question come in asking, will the PAA Arm Wrestling Association be putting together a British team to go to France?
Yeah.
Will they be doing T-shirts, or are we doing it individually and entering as individuals
I don't know
from
why you're
Britain?
asking us. We don't fucking know.
So there's the question. Can we then answer? Dan Earthquake.
Yeah, you need to
PAA
ask Dan
president,
Earthquake, or
if
maybe
you're watching.
Dave Kelly or Paul Maiden. They're the three you need to talk to. Or maybe even Alan.
Because I think it'd be a great idea if the
Yeah.
PAA got a team together and some T-shirts and win over as a PAA British team. It's a fantastic idea.
That'd be well
So,
good.
cheers for that question. It's now been put out there into the universe. Let's see if the universe provides.
We also had another question from Oliver Scott. How often should a beginner train for arm wrestling?
Every goddamn day.
Yeah. Do you know, at the sit-downs, I was talking to Dubs and Harry. They asked how often I train arm wrestling. I've just started again. I used to do 3 table sessions a week. They're killers. I wouldn't recommend 3 for a beginner, but I've just started doing it again since because I've got my right hand back, and it is a killer, but it will, you know, like a boxer needs to spar to be good at boxing. You need to arm wrestle to be good at arm wrestling. I find
Train as often as you can.
if you just arm wrestle 3 times a week, then you wouldn't even need to do as many of the weight lifts that you would do if you're arm wrestling 3 times a week. Because since I've been arm wrestling 3 times a week, I'm in my garage less often, but I feel probably just as strong. Whereas before, I was in the garage probably 3-4 times a week, and I was arm wrestling once or twice a week. And I don't think it cuts it. It depends what level you want to get to as well. If you're a hobbyist, as I say it, and you're happy just plodding along,
Bobbing along,
once
bobbing
or twice,
along.
yeah, once or twice. If you want to be top level, you need to be doing it 3 times a week minimum, I'd say, until you could probably do it.
Yeah, 3 times a week.
But obviously, you need someone that's likely. You need someone on your path as well that wants to arm wrestle 3 times a week as well. So that can also be a challenge.
Can you only get as strong as the people you're training with?
That's why you need to travel.
If you're training with someone who you're smashing away every week with ease, do you benefit from that? That's another question, maybe for another time.
I think in that circumstance,
Only as strong as your training partners.
you would plateau, wouldn't you? And you wouldn't get any stronger, but you'd always be.
If everyone's
stronger
coming
than
up
that
at the same time and you're all getting to that level,
yeah.
you're all improving. But say one person just progresses loads.
You need to travel and find someone stronger. I don't believe in just going training and smashing people. I work on stuff, and like, what was it? The week before, all I did was hook, and hook is my shittest move. I cannot hook at all, but I just spent the whole hour hooking people, getting smashed. I was getting pinned by people that would not pin me if I was to top roll them. Do you know what I mean? But you're only, what David Horn tell us?
David Horn said, you're only as strong as your weakness.
Yeah. So that's stuck with us, and we're
Pro
training
level,
it.
they find you out real quick.
Yeah, but to answer your question, you just got to find what you want to do. If you want to be top level, then you need to train 3-4 times a week. If you're happy plodding along, then carrying on, son. What's the other question? Different tech. Is there a different technique for sit-down arm wrestling? Well, yeah. I find there is.
My technique wasn't much different than if I was standing up, to be honest. But you just can't get your body weight down. You can't drop. It's hard to top roll as well, because a top roller in a sit down will go whoop, and then they can't go anywhere.
That's when they drop their body.
Standing up, they'd have carried on.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard to be a top roller. That's why if you watch the YouTube videos that Daffy has put up of the day, there's a lot of hook battles.
That last inch to the pad at sit down is, you won't know unless you've done it. It's harder to pin someone here than it is up here. You could be flying and you get here and you've just hit a brick wall. That's why, me personally, I just set up. I'm giving secrets away, but sit down, I wouldn't do this and I wouldn't do that. I literally keep a straight wrist, cocked up, and I come over the hand like this, almost like a high hook, and then all sides. So it's literally that and down, and throw in.
Whereas
like
I was completely different to that. If you watch my videos, I was tucked in and I just hooked in. On the right arm, I was able to drop, and on the left arm, I just tucked in, turned, and just slowly just start pressing down.
Yeah.
But you gotta have the strength to do that.
So yeah, and how did it feel winning your first title?
Yeah. Mitch,
We're never going to hear the end of
Vanilla
this.
Gorilla, 2 pro arm wrestling titles. How many have you got? Because I got 2. That's right, 2.
Never gonna
Super heavyweight pro, baby.
Never gonna hear the end of this shit.
Sit down with me.
So that's how that feels. And we've already answered
I'm
that.
going to milk
PA
it dry, baby. I'm going to milk that cow fucking dry. Like that.
But yeah, it's only a short episode this time. We're keeping them short and sweet. We might get a guest on maybe from Wales next time.
Yeah.
Unless you want to add.
Start thinking about it. Who is Wales' greatest arm wrestler
Yeah, put it in the comments.
that their country has ever had?
Like and subscribe.
Who's the most accomplished Welsh arm wrestler?
Yeah, put it down in the comments. Like and subscribe, and
Dean Bolt's my favourite.
all that shit. And remember, if you don't do anything else, remember just go fuck yourself.
Yeah.